Hello, my name is Isaac Novak, and today I'm going to talk to you about choosing the best value for your LD debate case. Now let's look at 3 steps you can take to choosing the best value for your case. Step 1. Familiarize yourself with common values used in debate. For example, equality. Equality generally refers to the idea that people are or ought to be the same in terms of political, economic, legal, or cultural status. Justice, giving each man what he is due. Social contract maintains that the authority of the government must always derive from the consent of the governed. The categorical imperative is an absolute, unconditional requirement for moral conduct. The categorical imperative acts as a test to determine whether an action is moral, regardless of who is acting. Deontology is basically saying that the rightness of wrongness or wrongness of an action does not depend on the goodness or badness of its consequences. Utilitarianism is the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Be wary on this value of utilitarianism because there are many arguments to go against it, which if you're going to use this, you're going to need to have a specific goal and value for that value. John Locke's natural rights, life, liberty, and property. And lastly, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is basically saying that you need to fulfill the bottom steps of the pyramid before you can get to the top. So the bottom is your physiological, next safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. So there we have it, a few values which you could be using in your debate round. Second, let's analyze your resolution. If the resolution argued that resolve the values contained in the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution ought to outweigh all other legal values, debaters should first ask themselves, what is being evaluated? What does the First Amendment grant its citizens? If the First Amendment grants individuals freedom of speech, press and religion, and assembly, then debaters need to ask which values are at stake when judging the worth of those freedoms. Why can the First Amendment freedoms be considered more important than other legal values? Because they guarantee civil rights, liberty, freedom of choice, individualism, or quality of life. Those are all values you could use in your debate round. Now, if you're building a neg case for the same resolution, debaters might argue equality or fairness ought to be the ultimate value because it is only when all individuals have equal access to these freedoms or receive fair treatment whereby all of society benefits. When analyzing a resolution, you will need to pick out words and phrases inside and understand what they mean. From there, you can go down a list of values and look for the value which best fits the resolution. Now here's another example of a resolution. The U.S. ought to guarantee universal health care for all of its citizens. Now on the AF side, you might choose equality or political morality. And on the neg side, we might include liberty or the social contract theory. Now let's go to our last step. Step 3, strategy. The value premise may or may not be agreed upon through the entire debate by the affirmative or the negative sides. And because the resolution does not explicitly state that a certain value must be used, debaters often must debate which value should be used to evaluate the round. In order to support the affirmative or negative side values, debaters attempt to prove why their value is more relevant to the resolution or why their opponent's value is inferior to their opponent's, or is inferior to their own. If you come upon a point where you and your opponent have the same value, you will then look toward how your value is better played out on your own side. On the other hand, a debater may strategically purposely drop or choose not to defend his or her value premise if the other debater's value still may be achieved or proven better under the debater's own side. I would only do this if you were an expert. So there you have it, how to choose the best value for an LD debate case and how to strategically use it in a debate round. Thank you.